The NFL has breakout players every year, and while we expect players like Russell Wilson or Julio Jones to perform every year, they themselves had to break out at one point in time. 2020 will be no different, and there's bound to be plenty of players that will burst onto the scene this year. This offseason was undoubtedly the most bizarre one we've ever had, and probably will ever have in our lifetimes, and for that reason there will be either significantly more breakout players this year, or significantly less, and whichever one it is, we will soon find out. In today's video though, we will be discussing 5 players in the AFC West that will break out this year. And a few months ago I did a division by division breakdown, and I think we're going to do that for by breakout players as well. But before we get started, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, as all support is very much appreciated. Now let's begin. And we start today's video off with a 2020 first round pick, and that of course is Broncos wide receiver Jerry Jeudy. Jeudy was a 2-time all-conference receiver and a Biletnikoff Award winner at the University of Alabama. He was drafted in the top 15 for a reason and should play a big role in Denver's offense rather quickly. One thing that concerned me a few months ago with him was that he may not receive many targets behind players like Noah Fant and Courtland Sutton, but aside from those two, the Broncos really don't have anyone receiving-wise. And because of that, Jeudy should receive a lot of one-on-one opportunities, and one of Jerry's biggest strengths coming out of Alabama was his route running. Due to this, having a lot of one-on-one chances and already being a great route runner, Jeudy should receive a lot of targets and early. Remember, just 4 catches per game every game equals 64 on the year, and Jeudy will surely have a few games per year where he has 7 to 8 catches for 100 yards and a touchdown or 2. And not only that, but who are the AFC West's premier corners? Casey Hayward of course is one, but one would have to think he will be matching up against Courtland Sutton when these teams square off. And the more I think about Jeudy's ability and how he will be matched up with number 2 corners, I do think he can have a 65 to 75 catch rookie season and really show who he is and early. NFL scouts and analysts already knew who Jeudy was, but at the end of the 2020 season, I don't think it's out of the question for him to be a household name. Jerry Jeudy is in a great position to succeed, and I can't wait to watch him play. And next is Jeudy's college teammate and the player on today's thumbnail, Henry Ruggs. Ruggs is in a great situation to be in receiving-wise because he's going to a place where he will be the number 1 wide receiver, and not only that, but the Raiders will want to get Ruggs the ball a lot. They've dealt with Tyreek Hill now for the past 4 years, and they know what elite speed can do for an offense. While Derek Carr surely isn't a Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson type player, he is a very accurate quarterback, as in 2019 he very quietly finished second in the NFL in completion percentage to only Drew Brees. He had a solid touchdown to interception ratio of 21-8 and had the best passer rating of his career. Ruggs is going from an accurate quarterback in college in Tua Tagovailoa to a very accurate quarterback in the NFL in Derek Carr, and when a team spends that high of a draft pick on a receiver, they will get that player the football even if it means force feeding him. With Ruggs' speed, they will be doing anything, such as bubble screens, the tap passes that have become popular over the past few years, or receiver handoffs. Henry will be getting the ball. Because of a lack of other great receivers around him, an accurate quarterback, and good opportunities to get the ball often, Ruggs will get chances and certainly make the most of them. He will be a very good dynasty selection because of the production that will happen throughout a dynasty and have a breakout year in 2020. Ruggs has a great attitude to be a productive NFL player, and we will soon see how the Broncos and Chargers defend Henry Ruggs, Tyreek Hill, and Mecole Hardman 4 times per year. And next is Chiefs running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Clyde the Glide goes into a great situation because not only is his team good, I mean they are the defending champions, Damian Williams opted out of the season, which only benefits Clyde. He is coming off of a nearly 1,900-yard year at LSU, in which he was a national champion, and the only position Kansas City wasn't elite at in 2019, skill position-wise, was running back. They have an elite receiver in Tyreek Hill and an elite tight end in Travis Kelce, and we all know how good Patrick Mahomes is, that goes without being said. Clyde can break out because in 2019, the Chiefs running back rushed for nearly 1,600 yards and 16 touchdowns, with none of the players totaling over 500 yards. They had a running back by committee between players like the aforementioned Damian Williams, the Buccaneer LaShawn McCoy, Darrell Williams, and Darwin Thompson. Clyde was a first-round pick for a reason, and he can rush for 1,000 yards in 2020, as this group averaged 4.2 yards per carry, and for Clyde, a player coming off of a phenomenal season in 2019, 2019, I think he will be better than all of those running backs were last season. And before anyone comments anything, Clyde can be better in 2020 than Shady McCoy was in 2019, not necessarily career-wise, as Shady rushed for just 460 yards and 4 touchdowns last year. Now, Clyde is in a perfect situation because he can step up and be the running back number 1 and hold that position until it's his time to get paid, which would be after the 2023 season or the 2024 season, depending if the Chiefs pick up his 5th-year option. We know Patrick will be there at the end of Clyde's contract, but that's way down the road as to whether or not the pay running backs is still a thing and all of that talk. But for the sake of this video, Clyde is a great player and is in a great situation, and there's no reason he can't be a 1,400 total yard player out of the gate. And next is Chargers linebacker Kenneth Murray. We often talk about receivers being in great situations by good quarterback play or by quarterbacks being in a good situation due to good receivers, but this concept still applies to defenses. Not only for pass rushers acquiring sacks due to good corners like Stephon Gilmore locking down receivers for an extra second or so, or corners looking good because of an elite pass rush. This applies to Kenneth Murray in 2020 because of all of the elite players on the Chargers defense. They have playmakers everywhere, with players like Joey Bosa, Melvin Ingram, Casey Hayward, and Derwin James, and with all of these guys requiring attention from the opposing offenses, this is where Murray can shine. In the run game, Murray can be a great player, as Bosa and Ingram require constant attention from offensive linemen, and in the pass game, he can be a menace across the middle, as the offense has to deal with a great pass rush and elite players in the secondary. Not only do I think Murray will be given a lot of opportunity early on, but I think we will find out how he will be as a pro rather early due to this. He ran a 4.52 40 during the pre-draft process, jumped 38 inches in the vertical, and did 21 reps on the bench, so Murray has a lot of the intangibles scouts look for in linebackers. Now, it will be up to him to make the plays and to unleash his full potential as a linebacker for the Chargers. I truly do think he breaks out and becomes a centerpiece of that defense for the next 5 to 10 years in 2020. And we wrap today's video up in Las Vegas to discuss Clelin Ferrell. In Clelin's rookie season, he had 4.5 sacks and was outplayed by fellow rookie Max Crosby. Raiders fans, I would include Crosby, but he had 10 sacks as a rookie, and I would argue that's already breaking out. Anyways, Ferrell should break out this year for a few reasons. He wasn't a bad player by any stretch of the imagination in 2019, and having an offseason to get better and to learn from the mistakes he made in year 1 should only help him. Not only that, but teams, despite the media not necessarily covering him, know who Max Crosby is, and that will force teams to slide protection more towards Crosby and less towards other defenders. Ferrell had just 4.5 sacks last year, and while that's not bad, he certainly wasn't drafted that high for those numbers either. With the teams in his division all looking to pass the football and a lot of that, he will be given a lot of opportunities to get to the quarterback, and we'll see if he can make the most of it in 2020. And with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. I didn't intend to use 4 first-round picks from this year. It kind of just happened because all of those guys are in terrific situations. But that's all I have for today's video. If you ever have a video suggestion, please leave it in the comments. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps a ton, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day.